Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Poorboys Little Homestead. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, today you see me out here in my garden and I got my little air compressor. You probably wondering, what in the world is he up to now? Well, guys, I'm finna show y'all how you winterize your drip irrigation systems so it won't freeze and bust you lines or your little drip mitigators, and it might be some that gets froze, but this here is going to take care of the biggest problem. So I'm going to get y'all on over here and I'm going to show y'all what I'm going to start doing. So first things first, I'm right over here at my water supply and I'm going to disconnect. This is my filter, the pressure regulator, and the water timer. We're going to take them off and we're going to store them where they won't freeze over the winter. When you store them, make sure you get all the water out of them. And right down here where the hose goes into the ground, you can get this blowout plug. And this one here I had in my RV. You can get them at the RV centers, or you can order them off the drip irrigation sites where you buy your drip irrigation supplies. What this does, you just screw it on to your water line right here. And the next step at this point, before you put any air in there, we're going to go around and we're going to make sure every valve on every one of my beds that has drip irrigation is open. So I'm going to just go around and make sure they all open on every bed that has drip irrigation on it. Some of these I've had turned off. And some of these valves are different. Some of them you just screw open and some of them's got a little air in them. They're like a little ball valve. I like the little ball valve type ones, but I can't remember where I ordered them from. But next time I need to order some, I'm gonna try to make sure I got the little ball valves. Now guys, if it gets to where I have to water again, I just water by hand. Now this one right here didn't have a valve. I just plugged it off, so I'm gonna just cut the plug off. You can see the reason some of these are turned off, because when I planted my cold weather crops, I didn't even put the lines back down because I just been watering them with the water hose. I think that's it. No, that ain't it. I got a couple more over here. And this one right here was the same way. I had it plugged off. So I'm gonna just pull the plug on it. Now I think that's it. So let's go back over here to her What we're gonna put there. Now guys, when you start doing this, if you're using a little air compressor, it's gonna have a valve here that you can adjust to turn your air pressure down. Now, I'm gonna set my air pressure where it's only on 20 pounds. Because you don't want to put too much air in that line because it'll blow your fittings apart. Blow some of your mitigators off for that. So I'm gonna go, actually I'm gonna back mine down to about 15 pounds to start out with. You just want to put a little air in it and go around and let it blow till you stop seeing water everywhere. So we're gonna shoot a little air in there. You can see water spurting out of them back there. Now guys, it is pumping air. I'm gonna look at my gauge here and I'm gonna adjust it up to where it's putting out 20 pounds. Then we're gonna go around and watch them till water stops coming out. You can see that right there ain't got no water because it's just open-ended. That's the one I had to plug in. So I'm gonna just walk around, like I said, until the water stops coming out of all these mitigators. The water's still coming out of this one over here good. Now guys, these two that I pulled the plugs out of, now that the water's out of them, I gotta put the plugs back in them so it'll make more pressure go toward the other ones to get the water all out of them. Now I'm gonna come back over here and turn my air up a little more. Now I done used the air that was in my air compressor up, so I'm gonna have to stretch the cord over here and plug it up because it didn't get all the water. I was thinking it'd get all the water out of the lines with just that one tank of air. Alright guys, I don't know how much sound y'all didn't have there because my batteries went dead on my little Movo mic here. And if you're ever thinking about getting one of these, they work pretty well, but they run off of 2 AAA batteries, and this thing goes through some batteries. And it usually quits on me right in the middle of a video, and you don't know it quits. But anyway, I opened all my valves, and if I was talking to y'all during that and my voice was cut off, I opened all my valves, but my tank on my air compressor run out of air, so I had to go get my electrical cord and run out here and let it pump up again. So now we're finna shoot some more air to it. Now guys, I'm just going back around and making sure ain't no water coming out of them, it's just air. You want to let it spray until nothing but air is coming out. Right now, it looks like I pretty much ain't got nothing but air. Guys, right now it sounds like a bunch of snakes hissing out here in the garden. So I done got all the water out and ain't nothing but air. So that's how you can easily winterize your drip irrigation system. Like I said, if you don't get that water out of them lines, they're gonna freeze. And then next spring when you hook it up, you're gonna have a lot of leaks, have to replace your mitigators and all that. Now I don't take mine up because I don't plan on pulling this ground cover up this year. This is the first year I plan on getting 2 years out of it. Now what I'm gonna do at each plant, I'm gonna rotate my plants, but I'm gonna cut a bigger hole, burn a bigger hole around it, dig down in there and mix some good compost before I plant the next plant. Now yeah, I have a bigger hole for grass to grow up, but it'll just be at each plant. It won't be throughout the whole garden. Then I may just have to mulch around each plant, but I'm gonna get 2 years out of that. I'm not gonna pull it up work my garden and then row it back up and try to put that back down. I want to at least get 2 years out of it to get my monies out of it. So now we're going to get over here and we're going to put some more frost cover on some of these plants. Now guys, y'all can see I went on and I got my frost cover already over my I got 2 5-foot beds of strawberries and 2 little small containers here with strawberries, and I went on and got my frost cover on them because we already got a couple of light frost. And I got them on before we started getting our light frost. But I am going to put some over my lettuce, 2 beds of lettuce. Even though I know lettuce is a little frost tolerant, I ain't gonna cover them all the way down the side. I'm gonna just cover them over the top a little bit to have a little frost cover on them. That way my lettuce will last on up until we sure enough get some hard freezes. But that's what I'm gonna be working on next. Now guys, this frost cover here is called DEMEDO. It's the brand of it, plant cover. Now I got this off Amazon. It's 0.9 ounce. And this in a pack's 10 foot by 30 foot. Now if you got a whole lot you're gonna be doing, it'll be cheaper to buy it by the roll. But I didn't need that much, so I just got 2 packs of this off Amazon, and I'll put an Amazon affiliated link in my description below. But I searched all kind of websites trying to find out my best route to get, because I didn't want to buy a whole roll of it, because I don't need a whole roll. And some people would say buy a whole roll and then you won't have to buy none for the next 2 or 3 years. Well, I'm one of them people that I don't know what's going to happen next year. I may not even be here to garden next year, so I got the 2 plants off Amazon. And you can see it's 0.9 ounce. That's supposed to be good to about 4, if I remember right, 4 to 6 degrees below freezing. And with a round bed like this, these are 5-foot beds. I said I wasn't gonna go all the way over this lettuce. No, I ain't. I'm gonna leave it up about 4 inches on the sides. The lettuce on the very edge right here. If it frosts, may get a little frost on it. But I just pull it around and I don't cut it. I use these little zip ties. That way I can take it back off and it ain't cut, and I can use it somewhere else on a bigger bed if I need to at a later date. But guys, y'all see these hoops I got on my beds? These are cut out of cow panels. You can get 5 of these pieces here out of a cow panel, and a cow panel right now in this parts you can get for about $30. Now I've looked at different kind of hoops and stuff, and this just to me was the best bet. It's sturdier. Some of my beds I make them tall like this. Some of them I make them shorter because I rotate my crops out. The ones that's got the tall ones, see I can plant a tomato in here and I can run a string line up to the top and string it up a determinate tomato. But to me that's the best thing that I could come up with for hoops for the price and that'll last forever. Y'all see how I just zip tie this to the hoops as I work my way around. Now this one here was a little long, so I got my scissors. But when I cut it, I try to cut it straight so I can use this other piece over here on another bed that's not round. And it's got that crease line where it's folded, so I can cut straight down through there. Now I think what I say that pack was 30 foot long. And I've got 2 This will make 3 5-foot beds, 2 little containers, and I got a piece big enough here that I can use like over this water trough. And actually what I'm going to do for it, it's long enough that I'm going to double it and lay right over this like that and zip tie it. Now this bed down here has my broccoli in it. So you'll see it ain't gonna be coming all the way down. That's just gonna keep the frost off of it. And this here ain't gonna keep the frost off of what's out there on the edge. Actually, I ain't sure how I want to do this. It's big enough I can come right on over the edge. And I can leave one side to where I can raise it up and cut lettuce. And then when I need to, I can cut the zip ties on the other side. Let me see here how this is going to work out. We might let this fall right on over the edge. That's a way to protect all the lettuce. I can go that way a little more. And this ought to have me good and frost protected. Unless something abnormal starts taking place, we ain't gonna get no hard freezes here in the south. If we do, that ought to be up there more toward January and February normally. I use a lot of these zip ties, which I buy them about a big buck. And these ain't the heavy duty ones, so they pretty reasonable price. They just easier to work with than trying to fool with. I'm gonna have enough of this one to cut off here, and I can use it on another little container pot. So y'all can see how many, like I said, that's 3 5-foot beds. That's gonna be enough for 3 container pots and the water trough out of one pack. What I'm gonna do right here, guys, I ain't gonna zip tie it. To the bed, I can poke it right through there, and then when I want to come pick some lettuce, all I got to do is pull it out. It's zip tied enough, and two, this stuff here, the wind blows through it, so it'll take a big wind in order to blow this off. Got that bed done. Now guys, this little lettuce bed here's got 2 different varieties of lettuce, but these hoops here were sent to me to try out. These are from My Fancy. They little fiberglass, and you can take them apart and make them as long as you want to use them on different beds, and they work pretty good. But if you try to bend them too small for a little bitty container bed, these little plastic couplers, I call them, that put them together, they will break these plastic couplers if you try to put too much of a bend on them. But I look at things for about a price, and for the price of these, for this one box, which I wouldn't need this one going this way. And you can go back and look at the video, I done a little review on these. But for the price of these, you can only get one, maybe two beds out of a box. Well, I can buy a cow panel for that same price and get 5 of them, and I believe they're 16 foot long, 5 pieces 16 foot long. Then you can cut them if you need them shorter to bow over like I got in that water trough, or you can leave them long. You got so many more options, and plus they're gonna last you a lifetime. Now this little piece ain't wide enough for this bed, so I'm gonna use it back over here on the water trough. You can see here what I mean by you can cut them the length you want them to make them fit whatever bed you want. And once you get enough of them for every bed, they there forever. If you don't want them in your bed, you can take them out and you can straighten them back up and use them somewhere else. Use them to make trellises to grow stuff up for your spring garden. You just got more options with making them. Now, like I said, now you're gonna need a pair of bolt cutters to cut them. For that cow panel, you ain't just gonna cut it with a pair of wire pliers. I ain't never grew broccoli before, but this is slow getting started plants. I know that compared to everything else, because these was potted and planted, or well, they were seeded straight into the water trough here. The same dates to cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower was planted. And y'all see over there, that stuff, some of that's that tall. So I don't know if broccoli's just that slow growing, or it likes a different type soil than the rest of it. I don't think it is. I think I read somewhere that it's very slow growing. So it may never make nothing this year. And if it does, I may end up having to cover this top piece with plastic, making a little greenhouse for it. Now that there ain't gonna be under the frost tent there, is it? And one on each end ain't gonna be under the frost tent. But guys, the main point of this little video here was to show you how to winterize your drip irrigation system. How simple it is with a little air compressor. You ain't even got to have an air compressor of that size. Just a little small suitcase one. Just anything that can pump, keep you about 20 pounds of air pumping through there to push all your water out. But I was out here today doing that, and decided I was gonna go on and wrap up a couple more. I'm gonna wrap that other bed of lettuce over there with some frost blanket, and everything else ought to be good to go. But I appreciate y'all watching. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share my videos with anybody you think might enjoy watching them. If they might learn something from it, please share with them. That's the best way you can help me with my YouTube channel. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all have a great day. God bless. See y'all next time.